Hey guys, Nicky Goldman here from Team PPG. Coming back from Anaheim from the Team League Springfest. I did get top 8, but didn't get much far from there. And yeah, but my team went 7-0 in Swiss, and we lost for top 8. I personally went X1 the whole day, and yeah. I played the same build from from San Jose and from my shop challenge, running the one Chrono Gen Z. It's just too helpful in the early game. It can switch out any grade 1 for any rushing, or grade 3 if I don't have it, and it binds itself, which is like the most important. 4 heals, just counter charge, soul charge. It's better than the other one. It is 4K, but the effect is just too good. For this crit, it binds itself and it counter charges, so you can stack up your bind zone and you get more counter blasts. For Heart Thump, a lot of people aren't running this just because it's not as ETB, but just it goes into soul and draws, and like having that extra soul because the deck can run out of soul, and that like plussing 1 off of your first turn is just like too good. Usually you use it on your first try turn, and like that's it. It's usually just in your hand. But yeah, and like the other crits aren't that great. Like the plus, puts a soul plus 3K isn't that great, so it has an effect. And usually you don't get it off your Avenir. Like sometimes you get 1 or 2. That's not that bad. Or you're cruising. And then for stand, it's just for its effect. The trigger isn't that great, but like its effect just helps with multi-attacking, especially on what's it called, dust turns, and it just helps with multi-attacking, and it clears my field, and it gets soul, and it stops me from decking out. But yeah, for that's it for my grade 0s. For grade 1s, I did run 4 Arca. It's a PG, and it lets me add itself to hands. The best PG ZCB has. 4 Stride Fodder. This deck doesn't really need a stride. I mean, like you can just bind a grade 3 to stride. You don't really need to pitch cards from your hand. But in the early game, you can use it to put grade 3s in your drop zone. And then if you don't have any grade 3s in your drop zone, it can work as a stride fodder. That's really it. 4 Transit Dragon, just to plus on your first turn. It's just a lot of on your first turn, you usually go Split Pegasus, and with that, you usually just call out all your transits, your cruisings, and your Heart Thumb markers to plus. And then after that, you go aggressive. And then I run 4 Mary Block Dragons. It counts as a grade 3 in drop, so it helps you stride a lot, and it gets a lot of pluses, and it combos with this next card. What's it called? Middle Party. So, and it binds itself, so if you need the bind zone. I am running 16 grade 1s, so it helps me with the early game. This meta right now is all about the early game, so if you win the early game, you kind of just win the game. And so yeah. For next up, my grade 2s run 4 Metal Party. It combos off with Mary Block to multi-attack with really big numbers, and it's a 10K. And the reason why I'm running Chrono Gen Z is because it can't attack if I don't have a bind zone. So yeah, in the early game it's just too good. They have to call boosters behind the 9Ks. That's it. 3 Cruisings. It's just the main card I call out on my first stride turn. Just pluses. It's 11K boost, 11K attacker. That's it. I run 3 because if I only ran 2 and 1 went to damage or 1 was in soul, I couldn't call 2 out. So that's the main reason why I run 2. 2 Unicorn. The reason why there's only 2 is because I only need it after my second stride. After that, or any time before that, it's kind of just dead. It's a really good card for multi-attacking, but it doesn't really net you any pure card advantage. It is an 11K card on both turns, so keep in mind that. And yeah, just for multi-attacking. 3 Caliban. This is like the one card almost nobody in North America ran. I don't know why. It just helps you win your early game so hard, especially against the mirror match. This is like the reason why I won the mirror match almost every time, is because I would usually hit 3rd Gen Z, and they couldn't get a bind zone for Metal Party, and so like they would just be stuck, you know. Or like just against any deck, I would hit their starter and they would just lose a much advantage. Like they would lose their early game advantage and they would just lose a plus the starter usually gave them. And it's a non ZTB, but that kind of is irrelevant. Like it's probably only happened to me once where I get Avenir Phoenix and get like 4 non ZTBs, but it's not that bad. That's it for my grade 2s. I did run 12, so again, for my early game. Next up for my grade 3s, I did run 4 Chrono Jet Dragon Z. This is your main boss card of the deck. You do want to ride it. You stride for free. You net cards every turn by not pitching for stride. And the Soul Blast effect, it negs your opponent 1 and pluses you 1, so you're just constantly like gaining card advantage with this card. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then 1 Kotal. This was like my backup grade, not my backup grade 3 to ride, but like it's only for its effect, like, when it's placed on rear from deck. It gets to the 3K, but if I have no counterblast, it countercharges me 1. So if I like wasted all my counterblasts on drawing, or if my opponent's trying to 0 damage me, I just call this out. And yeah, I only ran 5 grade 3s, and that didn't really hurt because you only want to get this. Like if you get any other 3 other than Jet Z, you're just like, you're losing the game basically. So yeah, and I rather focus my other cards on my grade 1 and grade 2 lineup. And that's it for my main deck. For my extra deck, I ran 1 Split Pegasus. This is usually my first stride, and it's just only there to get you net card advantage. Sometimes you can use it to get like grade 2s you need on the board if you're trying to go for a game, but that's usually it. I usually go for a stride just because it gets the 1k on your turn to your front row, so that's really helpful. And usually what I flip for this is Mystery Freeze. I only ran this against Gize. I didn't play against Gize the whole day. It isn't really a popular deck, but this deck doesn't have a hard time against Gize, and this is your out to Gize. And yeah, and if I didn't play Gize, I would just flip it with this. So, for my next card, I ran 2 Avenir Phoenix. It gets me a full board. Usually I don't like really like to first ride it, just because it only gets me like 2 cards, and like using it on your 2nd or 3rd stride, the GB3 is really helpful for making really big numbers. Like usually like numbers past 21, and that's really helpful, and it just nets me like a board, you know. So if I use Split Pegasus, call a bunch of transits and hard thumps, and usually like I would draw that much. They would all go to your soul, and I would draw. So I would have like almost no board. If my opponent wiped my board, if they're playing Gear Chronicle, Kagura, I'd probably have no board. Boom, 5 cards on the board. You can't call Heart Thump or Kalibom off this. Just saying. And that kind of is the negative side of playing Calibom and Heart Thump, but usually, like, it's very unlikely for that to happen. Next card is 4 Gear Next. I didn't really go into this the whole event, just because I usually ran 1 off Split Pegasus, or like off Heritage or Dust. But it was just like a meta call. If I played any Link Joker, this is how I win. Or if it's just like a good card, you could probably get away with running it at 2, but I'd rather have like the insta win against Link Joker, and like any other deck. I forgot what other deck this was really good against, but it's just, and it stops me from decking out. So if I have really low card count deck, I just go into this, and I'm only minusing 2 from deck if I play it right, you know. Running 1 Heritage. This is like also the finisher of the deck. You know, it gets me that extra turn. And usually you can second stride it. Usually I did, you know, when you draw like 10 cards off this, or just not 10 cards, but like draw a lot off this turn, and then you get like at least 2 heals, and then you just double heal and then go into this. This is your finisher. Usually they can't. Usually you win off this turn, and that's it. 1 dust. Again, you can usually second stride it. You just have to like get 2 or get 1 G guard and then get the grade 3, and then you just dust them. Dust is really good. It's like one of the best ZRs in the game. Especially when you have the sand trigger in this deck and unicorn, so you can just multi attack a lot while they're at 1k. And yeah, that's it. Like if they're at 4, you put them to 5. It's just a really good finisher, and usually they don't expect it. They usually expect like heritage. A lot of times I did like double G guard, and then they were expecting heritage, but I would go just dust. And yeah, 1 sea breeze. This deck can do a lot on sea breeze. Just because you have a lot of cards that draw you for not counterbossing, you know. So if you just call a bunch of hard thumps and transits, and yeah, this deck doesn't counterboss a lot. And if you do counterboss a lot, you have Coral, and you have like Heritage, Green X. So if you do run out of counterboss, and yeah, 1 Nirvana. This is just mainly for the Nobuatama matchup. If they Rene, calling 2 cards, and they attack with the first card, you just G-Guard into this, return 1 other card on your field to the deck, and call a grade 0 over the second card that was called. That way they only get 1 attack off Rene. So it can mess them up with their own cards, because sometimes they don't use they like wait until the second attack to use their bear or something. And yeah, it just like stops them, or like sometimes it just helps with the big shield. I'll call a crit or something, and then next turn I'll go into dust using the crit counter charge, helping me multi attack even more. And that's like the only reason why it's there. 2 Heteron. I don't know why people cut it down to 1. It's such a good card. Like you just like stop their really big numbers for just 1 soul blast. That can get a lot of soul. And yeah. And then 2 ZTBG guards. The guard, like the plus power to the guard, or plus guard power, whatever, is nice, but usually it's just there to be flipped down with heritage. That's really it. Yeah, and just 1 reminder, if you call that off Rene, and they have no bind zone, they can't attack with that, so that's a nice tip. But yeah, that's it for my deck profile. Yeah, shout outs to Pro Play Games and Ultra Pro, best team in the game. Shout outs to Joshua Lee, Axel Lee, and John Shaden. They're my 2 teammates. They did really well. Axel played Nobuatama. His profile is already up. And John played Angie. And if you're on Facebook, you can see the profile, the deck list. Shout out to Chris, to JCS, to Daniel, great friends, to William, to Eric, to Alex. Dang, I'm forgetting a lot of names. To Justin. Justin's a great teammate and friend. Jacob, Zane, all the people at the event. I don't remember all your names. Yeah, that's it. Alright, thank you. Bye.